everyone's just after a single, and then some people don't even have like the attention to listen to a full single.
I think what really sucks about music right now and going forward, what's probably going to suck even more, is that, especially for us, maybe not so much in the indie scene, but for us in like the post-punk scene and like the fringes of noise, people tend to not really want to shell out money on actual music anymore. They'd rather like come and see you play than actually buy the music to listen to. Like, I find that we get loads of people like randomly coming up to us. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but we get people coming up to us and, oh, that was great, that was amazing, and then we never see that convert. It might just be your demographic. We might just have all the people who hate Facebook and don't use Spotify and only use Bandcamp and whatever, but
off the grid bastards.
Yeah, it's like this weird thing where the venues and stuff are measuring you on the metrics of how many Facebook followers you got and whatnot. And for us, that's not what it lies for us. But you guys kind of bridge, and you are more in the indie sector, I would say. You are kind of sort of indie folk.
Yeah,
still indie darlings.
We're not in the post-punk era anyway.
But well, I mean, I don't know. Some of those, when Ian stands on that wee DS1 and brings in some noise, it gets quite raucous. Like, it's very
some of those groovy jams.
It's like, I think whenever I hear you guys play, it's like proper 80s bands from Scotland that just like are in my head, that like I feel that he's like meld with, like from that like Aztec Camera and stuff like that. Like that's the sort of stuff.
Oh.
Like, it might just be because I'm massive into all those East Coast Bride bands that were big in the 80s. But I get those like Big Country as well. Like some of your tunes are like Big Country, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the 80s band, but it's like so like it's like clean cut. I don't know. You guys are just awesome.
Some of the comparisons we get, it's interesting because sometimes we don't really hear it ourselves. Like Cocteau Twins gets mentioned a lot, and Cranberries, and then recently, what was
fucking Cranberries gets mentioned too much.
The Cranberries get mentioned in pretty much every single.
The Corrs put out some bangers.
Oh yeah, we said that as well. Like we agreed, but we just didn't. We just didn't hear the comparison. But.
I think it's I think it's because like you don't get a lot of Scottish voices in like in our scene in Glasgow. Apart from like maybe like the hardcore punk and some of the indie punk scene, you don't really get a lot of people who have a Celtic lilt to the way that they sing. So I guess people hear that and they just go, well, I don't know any other bands that had that sort of lilt. I guess the Corrs, I guess the Cranberries, which is like, I love those bands because those bands went against the grain and they were singing with their own voice. And I think that, that's another unique edge that you guys have. I hate when my hands come out the screen. Look at this. It's Donald. But yeah, I don't hear the Corrs when I listen to you guys. But I can see why people would maybe say the Corrs.
Back in the old days, I did used to play fiddle in Peplo. Well, we weren't Peplo back then. We were Hapless Outsiders. And I did used to...
Sorry.
What? Sorry.
Hapless Outsiders.
What were you called?
The worst band name ever made up by the worst band name ever, potentially.
Hi, I played fiddle in Hapless Outsiders.
It's better than playing the
I want to hear the fiddle come back, but I want to hear it through the DS1 with soaked in delay, so that sound guy in Inverness can ask you to just turn it down a little bit.
Yes. When I was in high school, I was in a band called Walking Confessions. So I feel it. Don't worry.
Nathan knows what's coming here. When I was in high school, I was in a band, an emo band called My Wilted Major.
That's gross.
It's gross. I didn't really get it at the time.
No, right.
It wasn't until I was like, a year ago or 2 years ago, I was sitting in work and a new girl came up to me and she was like, "Is your name Nick?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I'm dating your friend Scott." I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I said you were in a band with him when you were at high school." And then she said the name of the band and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so embarrassing." Like, out of all the bands I've been in, she like picks up this random one that I was in for like 2 minutes in high school. That's probably the worst for us. Nathan, what was your band's name called?
So what's the next question, Eddie?
No,
Yes,
Nathan!
Yes, Nathan!
It was called Confetti on Fire.
Oh. That's the struggle of trying to find a band name that doesn't already exist.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted it.
We can't talk. We are called Panda Car. We probably have the worst band name in Glasgow.
If this all does come to an end fairly soon, what would be the next steps for you guys? What would you like to do if the rest of this year is vaguely normal?
Well, if we work under the assumption we're getting the singles out, if you could start gigging properly, it would be amazing to do a tour of to some degree.
He's got a good plan. I like where this is going.
But yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. No, we're not going to be able to play gigs. I don't know. Other than releasing, if we get out, what else could we do?
I was thinking this the other day. That bandstand at Kelvin Grove could definitely be like a socially distanced venue. Like, it's made of concrete. There's definitely ways that you can make people be 2 meters apart. You can still stow a few 100 folk in without making them touch each other. And so that would be my plan. Just go do random projects at Kelvin Grove Bandstand.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to look and see how much it costs to hire Kelvin Grove Bandstand, how much it would be to make back your tickets, and we just put on a massive all day at Kelvin Grove Bandstand.
Yeah, and have like little kind of police tape areas.
Just have little boxes.
Yeah.
People can sit in little boxes, or like have like cones in between where people are allowed to sit.
Yes, you could have like 2 meter wide inflatable logos of all of the bands, and people are only allowed to sit in between those. Oh, that'd be cool.
And you could sellotape what the band name means, just in case people misinterpret it.
I mean, 2 meters is a lot of explaining.
I just think that maybe bands are going to have to use their kitties for like hazmat suits. And we're just going to have to play that way.
If we all lived in the same house, it would be fine.
Yeah.
I seen a thing online that said, like, I can't remember what venue it was a venue down south, but it was like, if they open up now with the current restrictions, they're only going to be allowed 20 people in the room. Yeah. And the band would have to be practically nailed to the floor. Like you'd get your mark, and that's where you would have to stand. And then they could have people in other rooms, and they could screen the thing through into another room. But I think they were going from like a 300 cap down to like 50 people.
I mean, take a venue like Hug and Pint. You probably wouldn't get away with 4 people on the stage.
Yeah.
With proper social distancing. So I don't know how you get around it. Like,
luckily, we only get like 20 people watching us anyway, so that the audience side of things would be fine.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, all this like talk about the gig scene. I mean, the fucking scene was dismal. Anyway, I'm quite cynical about this whole thing. I mean, does it? I'm not super hungry to go back to playing empty fucking rooms, and I don't know what this situation does for that. Does it make people more appreciative of something that they weren't actually bothering their fucking ass to experience. I don't know. I've long said that Glasgow rested on its laurels with this whole thing about we have a fucking great gig scene, and you have a lot of great bands, and you have a lot of great venues, but you don't have a lot of fucking great audiences. And I just don't know. My hunger post this is to actually go back in the studio and track those new songs, work on the assumption that we'll get all this stuff out, like we'll stick to this release schedule of putting out a single, you know, quite frequently. I would love to take this year to get caught up on like our backlog of tunes, you know, like populate the Spotify, and then, because fuck knows what happens to the dig scene. But I don't know. I was always quite cynical about that. I can't say I'm missing the Good Boy Punk Club, but I don't know. It was a funny old one because we had the same thing where I wouldn't necessarily say our conversion from gigs was particularly fantastic. I don't know. Sorry about downer, but fucking.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree at all. Like, our social media's got shitloads of followers over the last year.
I just don't know if that's been as a result though of our, because we've been really upping the sort of promo side of things in terms of like sending out press releases and like canvassing lots of different places like that. I mean, our social media is growing just now, and we're not fucking gigging. I don't know. I just don't know.
But Ian, you live for the adoration of an audience.
I love playing live. But my hope is that maybe more people will, I don't know, maybe support, appreciate the scene. Maybe that's a nice spin, a positive to think about. But I hope that after this, people are like, fuck, let's get out and let's see Pandacar. Let's see Quotes the Dead. Let's see Peplo. And let's support our local scene. In the same way that I hope they start supporting, not to get too political, but their local businesses as well. And maybe we start to see, I don't know, more localism, you know, in Glasgow and elsewhere. Hopefully, maybe.